Hello everyone, I'm so pleased to be celebrating the Global Health Beat Foundation alongside all of you tonight. My name's Sharon Langsher and I'm proud to say that I've been a supporter of the foundation ever since its beginning. Tonight we're here to celebrate the life and legacy of Lucia Aparicio Laserna. I've had the honor of knowing her daughter, ElenaNavas, our leader, fearless leader, for more than 20 years now, since the first day that our sons arrived at kindergarten class at the Lycée Français de Chicago. Since then, our personal and professional paths have intertwined, and I've watched Elena grow from a basic scientist and researcher to a leading epidemiologist, community activist, and a scientist in the Latino community in Chicago and globally. My support for the Global Health Beat Foundation has been based not only on my admiration for her, I mean, as you know, she's something, but also on her relentless commitment to improving social determinants of health and specifically targeting underserved and underprivileged communities both in the United States and abroad. When Elena shared with me that she was going to be establishing a fund in honor of her mother, I was thrilled to find out that it would be used to develop health and wellness initiatives in support of rural populations in particular in both the United States and in Colombia. The COVID-19 pandemic has been brutal for everybody. I don't think any of us has emerged unscathed. But what it's done in addition is widened the poverty and health inequity gap across populations throughout both industrialized and less industrialized nations. In particular, it's impacted rural populations profoundly. My experience with healthcare stems back from my training as a physician, an interest in both pediatrics and human genetics, which gradually morphed into my current role as a healthcare entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, I've been focused very much on how we can improve the delivery of healthcare, both in the United States and abroad, with specific focus on targeting those health disparities that we see across the country and really in our backyard. For those of you who are Chicago natives, I don't know if you knew that there is a gap in life expectancy of almost 30 years if you look at populations who reside on the north or central parts of Chicago, the Gold Coast area, and folks who live in the Englewood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. All you have to do is take the red line from north to south, maybe 8 or so stops, to see that drop in life expectancy of almost 30 years. That speaks to a structural inequity that is derived not just from problems with accessing good health care, but also from those social determinants. In particular, it's very hard to ask a patient to eat well and manage their diet when they live in the middle of a food desert and don't have access to fresh foods and vegetables. Similarly, it's really challenging to ask a homeless individual to take care of their blood pressure, their elevated blood pressure. Again, shelter, along with access to good food, reliable transportation, significant mental and behavioral health. All of those elements contribute to underlying good health outcomes. And Elena and the Global Health Beat Foundation and this fund in honor of her mother and the work that I've done have all been focused on trying to target those social determinants to lift and elevate the health of populations, both here in the United States, in urban centers, in rural centers, and globally. So I am really pleased to welcome you tonight to the Global Health Beat Foundation celebration. I'm so sorry that we have to do this virtually, but please make sure to visit the website at globalhealthbeat.org or contact Elena and the foundation's amazing team if you would like to receive any additional information. And don't forget to support the foundation. It's doing some great work. So enjoy your evening. I look forward to celebrating with you, hopefully a year from now in person. Take care and have fun.
Thank you, Sharon, for those insightful opening remarks. It is an honor to have you here with us tonight. Sharon and her family, Eric and children, have been extremely supportive of the foundation since the beginning, and we truly appreciate it. Welcome all. It is an honor to have you here tonight, sharing with us the celebration and legacy of my dear mother, Lucia Aparicio Laserna. For those of you who didn't meet her, my mom was a loving person. She was strong-minded, she was compassionate and loving, and she was extremely generous. From an early age, she taught us how to love the countryside and how to love rural communities. Oftentimes, they face many issues around health, around education, around human rights. And she left us this legacy. She passed away when she was only 74 years old of cancer. And before she passed away, I promised her to carry on her legacy of helping underserved communities in the States, in Colombia, and in many different places. And I am here to honor her and to honor the promise that I made to her. And it is a great pleasure to share with you a slideshow that shows some of the moments, beautiful memories that I and my children, Sebastian and Arturo Naché, shared with her.
Lisa Hall Schilling. Well, we have something again that's so special. This is a Go, Go, Go Bears jersey from Tommy Harris. This is also awesome to have the original tags on this jersey, as you can see. And what makes this so special, of course, we have Mom's Day is coming, we have Father's Day is coming up, and of course, for you sports fans, look at this. The original signature of Tommy Harris. As we all know, Tommy Harris, he was an awesome player and he played 8 years for the Bears. And this is a size, what size we have here? This is a size extra large. So we have everything for you. Hey, jump on to the silent auction. We're ready for you.
As Sharon eloquently said, the gap in life expectancy and health disparities is highly correlated to place of birth. In the United States, studies have shown that your health and your well-being and your success in life depends on where you were born. By zip code in this country, we usually do it. In other parts of the world, it's not different. There is a highly correlation between low socioeconomic status and poor health outcomes, as well as low education and poverty. This foundation focuses on bridging that gap, that health disparities that exist, which the pandemic unfortunately has widened. And today, populations around the world, in the United States and abroad, are facing bigger barriers and a wider gap. Global Health Beat Foundation focuses on helping to narrow this gap. And we operate like an academic institution in the sense that we follow Bill Gates' model. We are very scientific. All of us in this foundation, the founders and directors, are all, most of us, multidisciplinary scientific researchers. And we believe that there's no need to reinvent the wheel. It's more effective to identify already successful programs and support them to enable to reach more populations to have a bigger impact. Hence, I will now present to you some statistics from Colombia, the rural areas of Colombia. There's a lot of inequities, and there is a great opportunity to make a difference. I will now share with you some of the details.
Global Health Beat Foundation. Our mission is to transform lives through health education and disease prevention. We involve target communities and partner with them in order to develop programs and workshops tailored to them based on their needs. Disease awareness and knowledge, nutrition, psychosocial support, and stress control. Our strategies allow us to create a culture of disease knowledge and prevention based on evidence. We value and trust our collaborators' talent. Through their work, we have been able to develop various programs that support mothers and children, our country's most vulnerable populations. Know our programs: early care program, education and development, drug use and prevention, education through mass media. Many thanks for your support, which allows us to make a difference and improve everyone's health and well-being. Global Health Beat Foundation. Join our cause. Rural poverty is a reality in Colombia. According to national data, about half of the rural individuals live below the poverty line prior to the COVID pandemic. In addition, 25% of Colombia's population is located in rural areas. A large majority of this population migrates to urban centers to seek better employment opportunities, which, as we know, in this country, forced migration leads to further inequities around housing, around healthcare services, around education and employment opportunities, and oftentimes leads to informal employment, and unfortunately sometimes also to criminal activity when there is no other option. 60% of rural individuals work in the agricultural sector in Colombia. Generally, they work as independent contractors under vulnerable conditions and without benefits. And this is particularly true for women, as I will show you in the next slide. Rural women are most vulnerable. According to national data, in Colombia, 40% of young women 14 to 28 years old carry the burden of lack of employment opportunities. Rural women also work an average 13 hours a day, and those who work, 62% is unpaid work. And imagine, of that, the average income is less than $100 per month. This has great consequences, not only for the women themselves, but also for their children and families. There are many factors around gender inequities, around employment opportunities, and health in general. There are gender issues, there is discrimination. Oftentimes also in rural areas, the jobs are physically demanding and are expected more to be done by men than women. Women also have the load of taking care of their children. Oftentimes in rural areas, they don't decide how many kids they have. They just give birth to a lot of kids. They don't have access to contraceptive, methods. So again, why does Global Health Beat Foundation focuses on these populations? It is because, as we mentioned before, they are most vulnerable. Because when a woman doesn't have access to healthcare, doesn't have access to nutritional education, to stress control, to all these different areas of basic human living, the likelihood of she having a baby who is not optimal health at birth is great. And with that said, we know that many different diseases are programmed in the uterus. We know that hypertension, obesity, diabetes, of course, addiction to drugs. All these conditions have birth while the fetus is developing. The placenta is a great environment where the programming of a human being happens, and it happens at the physiological level. These are things that are well proven, and the major reason why we at Global Health Beat Foundation, we try to go to the bottom of the problem. We don't just want to prevent disease after it happened, which is called secondary prevention. Like if you have a heart attack and we try to prevent that, a second one, that would be, a different type of prevention. But here we're talking primordial prevention of diseases, and it starts in uterus. It is the most effective way of preventing chronic degenerative diseases in human beings. And therefore, we really focus on the health of women, young women, even before they get pregnant. I will now give you a specific example of one of the very successful programs that the foundation is supporting. It is called Fundación 0 a 3, which is an early care program designed to intervene at an early age in children from 0 to 3 years. According to a UN report, 43% of low-income and middle-income countries, socioeconomic disparities represent the major barrier to proper human development in approximately 250 million children under the age of 5. However, despite the fact that children need continuous care and treatment, very few completed these early age interventions. Data show that 26% of children complete the program, and 74, that's 3/4, do not start or suspend the sessions. Fundación 0 a 3 is making a difference in Colombia, in the Bogota area, and has reached 323 kids between the ages of 2011 and 2018. 223 may not sound like a lot, but when you add every single session that they do around neuromuscular, auditive, cognitive, so on and so forth, is all different dimensions of the human functioning that this foundation, under the lead of Luisa Vélez, Constancia Ramirez, who are our partners there, do. It's really amazing. And yes, of course, you may be thinking already, what is the cost of these treatments? The cost of treatment is a luxury families cannot afford in most countries, even in this country. In Bogota, according to data from the Fundación 0 a 3, each session costs about $14. Minimum average number of sessions is 40, and the cost of treatment per year is about $560. And the average years of treatment, again, is 3, depending on how the child progresses. And of course, we have some dropout, but it's actually very low. The percentage of dropout is less than 10% in this program. Total treatment cost is about $1,700. For severe case, the cost and length of treatment can double. So basically, what we're saying is that money goes a long way in Colombia, even though families there cannot afford it. With only $500, you can support the treatment of one child who is born with some type of congenital or birth disability. Now, I would like to tell you about another program that we're supporting there, which is extremely successful. And it is the program called the Albergue Mama Yolanda, which is an orphanage where for about 40 boys leave from the ages of 7 to 18. The idea of this house, of this albergue, like we call it, is to provide housing to these children. Most of them are children of sex workers or very poor, disfranchised women. Provides them housing, they're homeschooled, they have activities, they have health services, dental services, mental health services, and other activities that allow them to grow as healthy and educated human beings. The foundation began supporting Albergue Mama Yolanda about 3 years ago. Today, we have done many different workshops throughout the years, and we tend to focus on health and wellness, education, and career development. Those activities are designed to create a culture of disease prevention and higher education. As you know, low-income children here and around the world oftentimes don't have the culture of higher education. And we know that health disparities, we know that lack of equal employment opportunities and success in life depend not so much on completing the high school, but really on completing the college degree. We live in a society of diplomas, and unless you have a diploma, it is very hard to find a job that pays you competitively and that give you benefits that will cover your healthcare costs. Hence, one of the emphasis of the Global Health Beat Foundation towards this project is to create a program of career mentorship. We developed different workshops. In 2020, we developed 4 different ones. One was about entrepreneurship. Second one about painting. But painting tell us about your life, your dreams, where do you see yourself going? And hence we can help them start dreaming about higher education, not just finishing this program and going back to the streets or going back to the broken home or going back to drug addiction, because a lot of these children, unfortunately, were born to mothers who consume substances. So they themselves have dealt with addictions. So this is a holistic approach that we like to give. In addition, we provide health visits. We have different days of the year where we have physicians going and nutritionists and other health providers that give health evaluations to all the children, because these children cannot leave their home. They have a history of having lived in the streets, and oftentimes when they are outside, they tend to try to run away. So it is a way for us to facilitate all these services. And these children, you would not believe how grateful they are. It is amazing. We had a debriefing session with them earlier this year, and they gave us some great ideas for the workshop for this year, 2021, which most of them are happening virtually. But they talked about their interests, about learning about urban crops and agriculture, like home gardening that we called, mindfulness, yoga, and of course, learning more about health in general. So this is really one of the most fascinating and delightful, experiences that we have had at the Global Health Beat Foundation. And in Colombia, under Sebastián Montaña, who is the coordinator there, and Gabriela Copelo-Duque has also gotten involved, along with many other collaborators. Now I would like to go back to mental health, and as Dr. Davidson told us, it is an area of interest to us. We have written a grant proposal to the Colombian government, to the equivalent of the NIH over there, to seek funding to develop a global mental health program in the area of Barranquilla, Colombia, which for those of you who don't know where that is, it is close to Cartagena, which is well known. It's just in the North Atlantic coast in Colombia. Basically, mental health is a big problem, as it is here, as in Colombia and many other parts of the world. According to national reports, 73% of Colombians have mental health issues, and they increase due to the pandemic. They're feeling more anxious, depressed than usual. This is true here as well, and here too we're finding ways to support vulnerable populations around these issues. Like Dr. David Vickerson mentioned, he has applications. We're trying to develop new technological tools to allow to reach more people without having to have one-on-one interventions. And this has shown to be very effective in health. Fortunately, the pandemic has forced us to further explore telemedicine and ways in which we can support them. Global Health Beat Foundation, in association with Universidad Simón Bolívar, has developed the integral program called Program for Mental Health of Adolescents of the Atlantic region. As I explained to you, is the north of Colombia. But here, if we go back to the statistics, we also find gender disparities. Women are at higher risk compared to men, 78% compared to 67%. They perceive one or more affections in their mental health respect. So, as we said, this is an area that we're starting to focus on. The idea is to develop mindfulness and yoga and other stress controlling interventions to not only vulnerable populations, because COVID has left us all feeling very anxious and depressed, and with the uncertainty of when is this going to end and how is our life going to go back to normal. So our efforts are going to be across the board. And now, to finalize this presentation, I would like to talk to you about one of the Foundation's projects from the beginning, and is one of the areas that inspired us to launch this organization. It is being able to educate through mass media. We know that it's very effective to be able to reach thousands of individuals that you could never come in contact with because of geographic location, because of socioeconomic, issues, because of transportation issues, what have you. It is an honor, truly, to have launched this educational campaign about 7 years ago through a radio talk show, which I've co-hosted and led, and it's called Health Over Coffee Time. In Spanish, it's called Café Salud y Vida. You would find podcasts of this show on the Spanish Public Radio's website, as well as other videos of interviews that I've done in Univision, which is one of Chicago's leading Latino networks. I am one of their health experts, and we continually are sharing information and breakthroughs and what have you, and also especially clarifying misinformation about issues of any kind in the communities, underserved communities here and everywhere, and in Colombia and around the world. There is a lot of misinformation about health, and there are myths about where the diseases come from, like diabetes, like heart disease, like Alzheimer's, like all these different conditions where people sometimes think that because somebody in their family has them, you are destined to have them. And we know that that's not true. We know that there are risk factors and there are protective factors. And how do we empower communities about knowing what are the factors, the healthy lifestyle, ways in which they can improve their health and help prevent diseases? And that is the biggest barrier as public health professionals, is how do we change health behavior? Because we know people know things, they know some facts, they also know some misinformation. And how do you apply that into their daily living is our biggest challenge. And that's why we believe that mass education through social media, through mass media, radio, TV, YouTube, whatever have you, it's a very effective way of doing it. And so, again, I invite you all to visit our YouTube channel, Global Health Beat Foundation channel. You will find a lot of the information. You will also find a lot of these podcasts on our website. You can log in by going globalhealthbeat.org. I will no longer take more of your time from this program, and I will now continue to the other part of the program.
Hello, here we are again. I'm Lisa Hall Schilling. I'm here. I'm a major supporter for our foundation. And I tell you, we have so many great donations for this live auction. First, I want to start with this one. This bag is from the YU. This is a great group of people and women from North Colombia. These are handmade bags. These bags are very nice, very lightweight. We have different colors. This is a black and white. And if you want to close it here, you can close it very tightly, like this. It's a very long strap, very long. You can put it over your shoulders. And you can also put it around your body as well. This is a very lightweight, as I said before. You can put it into your suitcase for traveling. You can make it flat. It's very practical. So we really appreciate all your support you can for our donation for this foundation, for the people from the YU tribe from North Colombia.
Thanks again for being here with us tonight. One other important aspect of this foundation are the international collaborations that take place between US-based universities and Colombian. In 2019, my good colleague and friend, Dr. David Vickerson, traveled with me to Bogota. We met with colleagues from La Universidad Javeriana in areas of mental health and cancer. We have been working with them since then, and Dr. David Vickerson will now give you additional details of how he got involved in their efforts and what we have planned to do in the future to come. Welcome, David.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Vickerson, and I'm an advisory board member for the Global Health Beat Foundation. As a licensed health psychologist and researcher at Northwestern University's Feinberg School of Medicine, it is my honor to say a few words on behalf of the Lucia Aparicio Laserna Fund. My good friend Dr. ElenaNavas asked me to say a few words about the research that I do with people affected by cancer and other chronic health conditions. She told me a lot about her mother and about the incredible person that she was. She often drew comparisons between some of the work that I do in my research lab and the life that Lucia lived. She said that Lucia was a yogi and spent time studying and practicing in India. My research actually has focused on yoga, and I too have spent some time studying and practicing in India. A good deal of the work that I do in my lab focuses on improving the health and well-being of the Latinx community here in the greater Chicagoland area. And now, because of my growing work and connections with Elena and her team, this work is now crossing borders into Colombia. We recently took a trip to the Pontifical Javeriana University in Bogota, where Elena introduced me to some incredible colleagues in the Department of Psychiatry and Oncology. Together, we hope to bring some of the research that we've been doing here in the Chicagoland area to the hospital system in Bogota to improve health outcomes, to decrease health inequities, and to increase the quality of life and well-being of people who are affected by psychiatric and different medical conditions. Some of the work that I've done with the Latinx community has been funded by the National Institutes of Health. One project was simply to bring together Latinx serving organizations in the greater Chicagoland area with academic researchers at Northwestern University. And over a 3-year period, we met on a regular basis to learn about each other's work, each other's missions and goals, the things that are important to us, and to begin to create relationships so that we might begin to, in an organic way, partner and collaborate on programs, on research, and on improving the outcomes of the people that we serve. Another project was in coordination with a breast cancer serving organization for Latina women in the Chicago area called A Las Wings. Together with A Las Wings, we conducted one of the first ever Spanish-only yoga interventions with the patrons that were served by this organization. We created a community-engaged 12-week yoga program. We trained Spanish language yoga instructors in the curriculum, and we learned a tremendous amount about how to best tailor, adapt, and deliver a community-based yoga intervention serving underserved monolingual Spanish-speaking women. In our lab, we've also created a mindfulness app called Wakeful, and we are presently working with the Global Health Beat Foundation to translate the app into Spanish so that we can begin to deliver the programming all across the United States, as well as with our new partners in Colombia. I hope some of these things give you just a window into some of the work that we will be doing together with Global Health Beat Foundation. We're thrilled to help support this effort, and hopefully through hearing some of the different projects that we are doing together with the Global Health Beat Foundation, you will rest assured knowing that any contributions you make to this fund will be paid forward and helping to advance the lives and the well-being of the people that this foundation serves. Thanks so much for giving me a chance to talk to you today.
Thank you so much, David, for those very nice words and for sharing with us details of our collaboration with Colombian colleagues. Along the lines of this collaboration, we've decided to launch a new program which is called Future Entrepreneurs. The idea is to enrich and educate children in rural communities in Colombia with the English language. The English language is, and we all know, the best way to be able to have international experiences. And so we have students that go from the US to Colombia to do internships. We would also like to have these students who are Colombian, of underserved communities, to be able to do the same here. However, without the English language, it's almost impossible. And they won't be able to get the same as if they spoke the language and were able to come here in terms of international exchange programs. We have launched a new program and it's called Future Entrepreneurs. It is the first year and we're piloting it, but the idea is to give intensive English to 3 children who won the scholarships for 1 year. We do this virtually right now because that's the only way to do it. And then the idea is that next year they come to Chicago area. We will take them around and we will also take them to rural communities in the area where they will be able to meet local rural children and they'll be able to interact and exchange ideas and open each other's minds about what rural life is and looks like and operates in different parts of the world. In the future years, we expect to do the same, to take US-based children to Colombia and to share with them the wonders of the Andes and how they can enrich their horizons and start dreaming about being not just the rural child who never left the area and oftentimes remains in poverty through generations, but how can we make these children entrepreneurs? How can we make sure that these children, when they reach the US, when they reach any other country, they arrive as businessmen with a suitcase in their arms, ready to do business through the knowledge that they've learned. And so basically the idea is to create professionals who are empowered not only about English, but also many different topics, as well as health and well-being. So it is my honor now to introduce to you children who have been selected to this program, and they will now share with you what they've learned. They each prepare a short presentation, which we hope you will enjoy. Their names are Samuel Rojas and Isabela Linares, and welcome them.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hall-Schilling. This is awesome. I'm so excited for this silent auction. We have right now here a great gift card from Kalish Restaurant, and this is an awesome restaurant. I go there very often. They have everything from desserts, from salads and sandwiches. It's in Uptown Chicago. And come on, you guys, make this bid, make this bid. Do we have anything? Is there on the prompter there? Well, already. This is gone already for $30. You better put your bid in immediately because it's going to go very fast, very fast. So put your bid in, put your bid in.
Hello, my name is Samuel. I am 7 years old. I am second grade. This is my first model. There are trees, flowers, mountains, lakes, and rocks. Food chain. Warm is the flower. bird is the worm, eagle is the bird. Bye bye, teacher.
Hola, soy Rigoberto Rojas.
Y yo, María Elena Cabulla.
Somos los padres de Samuel Rojas Cabulla. Estamos aquí para agradecerle a la Fundación Global Health Beats Foundation por la beca que le ha sido otorgada a nuestro hijo y por las clases de inglés que le han sido brindadas también por ellos.
Porque con ella se le abrirán muchas puertas a nivel mundial. Gracias al idioma inglés, él tendrá muchas oportunidades y también queremos agradecer por el apoyo tecnológico que le han brindado y por el acompañamiento que hemos tenido hasta el día de hoy.
Nos sentimos afortunados por hacer parte de este gran proyecto que está brindando la Fundación y de corazón les agradecemos.
Estamos infinitamente agradecidos. Muchas gracias.
Adiós.
Hello, teacher. That are the video of the house of my books. But first, I am going to describe my friend Happy. Say hello, Happy. Hello, anyone. Happy has got a big and colorful hair. Happy has got a heart in her head. And finally, Happy has got a big pink eyes. Now it's time to describe the house of my dreams. Yes, the house. First, I'm going to describe the living room. The living room has got 5 pictures on the wall. There are 5 pillows on the sofa. The sofa is a big gray sofa. In front of the sofa is a small metal coffee table. And now, next, I'm going to describe the bathroom. The bedroom has got a big white marble to take a shower and 2 sinks to wash your hands and brush your teeth. There is a long mirror. And finally, there is a enormous window that you can see the forest from. Now I'm going to describe the dining room. First, there is my friend Fideo. He is waiting for lunch. There are 5 white chairs around the table. In the round table, there is on some purple flowers. And finally, there are 2 plants. One is light green and the other is dark green. Then, I'm going to describe my bedroom. Yes! My bedroom is very white. Do you think so? Everything is white or red. I have got a big white bed with 5 pillows, and next to the bed there is a night table. On the night table there is a lamp and 3 small plants that are in front of the window. I have got a sofa, and next to the sofa there is a poof. Finally, I have a chest. What do you think I have in the chest? And finally, that I'm going to describe my garden patio. I have got a second kitchen. There is a swimming pool. I have got a table with a birthday cake because it's my mother's birthday. And I go to celebrate in the dinner. And finally, I have a question. What is your favorite room of my house?
Thank you, Samuel and Isabela. Those were wonderful. I loved your creativity and how you share with us your surroundings and your living space. That is so wonderful. And we have to thank Gabriela Copelo Duque, who is their teacher. Thank you so much, Gabby, for all you do for these children. Next, I would like to go back, remember my mother, in a very personal way. As I said, she was a very joyful, full of life person. She loved music, she loved to dance, she loved to sing. And today we have the great pleasure to have with us a very dear friend of mine. We were only born 2 weeks apart. Claudia Lopez de Mesa, today known as Claudia Medina. She married a wonderful Nicaraguan man, has a beautiful family, Gabriel, Camilo, and Maria Teresa. And Claudia would love to sing to my mom, and we could spend hours singing with her mother, Maria Teresa Samper, and Anita Santa Maria, another very good friend of my mother, who sadly passed away recently, and her daughter, Coquina, and my siblings. We would just sit there hours on end, listening to them sing. And so it is a very special moment now to introduce to you Claudia Medina and her family. They will dedicate a couple of songs to my dear mother, and I hope you enjoy them. One of them is a well-known Elton John in English, and the other one is a typical song from Colombia called Soy la Reina. I hope you enjoy them.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hall Schilling. We have another great gift for donation. And this is really a beautiful necklace. We support this tribe from North Colombia. This is a YU, as I explained to you before. Look very closely. This is a beautiful necklace. It's with black and gold, and it has a beautiful silver clutch on the back. And look at the design. It's absolutely wonderful. I tell you, make a great bid on this one. We're here to support the YU tribe for women that made these gorgeous jewelry. They have many things that we do to support them. So please make a great bid. And if you don't, I will.
Goodbye, Lucia. We really knew you like a mom. You had the grace to hold yourself. All those around you crawled. They loved you for your grace. They whispered into your brain. They set you on a pedestal, and they miss you still today. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, always knowing who to cling to when the family came. And we're blessed that we knew you while I was just a kid. Your candle burned out long before your legend ever did. Goodbye, Lucia. We really knew you like a mom. You had the grace to hold yourself. All those around you crawled. They loved you for your grace, and they whispered into your brain. They set you on a pedestal, and they miss you still today. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, always knowing who to cling to when the family came. We were blessed that we knew you
Thank you so much, Claudia and family. This is wonderful. Imagine if this is like online, what it would be like real life. They are full of life and energy and amazing friendship. I am so blessed. We are so blessed to have you here tonight and also to have you in our lives. Well, the musical show goes on. And now I would like to share with you a very special mariachi serenata, which was produced in Colombia, South America. These are the outskirts of Bogota in the beautiful Andean mountains. For those of you who know Colombia, you will recognize it. Those who haven't, I hope that soon you will travel there. It is a magical place. And I would like to introduce Mariachi Victor, which is an amazing mariachi band, one of the best in the country, who have been amazingly supportive of our efforts to remember my mother and my children's grandmother, Lucia Aparicio Laserna. And we will now dedicate this serenade to her. I hope you enjoy it.
El amor incondicional y ternura de una madre siempre viven en nuestros corazones. Esta canción se la dedicamos a Lucia Aparicio Laserna, a todas aquellas que están escuchándolo en la tierra o en el cielo. Para usted con mucho cariño, esta bonita canción.
¡Hola, bonito, compadre! ¡Sí, señor! ¡Qué bonitos ojos tienes! Debajo de esas dos cejas, debajo de esas dos cejas, ¡qué bonitos ojos tienes! Ellos me quieren mirar, pero si tú no los dejas, pero si tú no los dejas, ni siquiera parpadear. Malagueña, salerosa, besar tus labios quisiera, besar tus labios quisiera, malagueña salerosa, y decirte, niña hermosa, que eres linda y hechicera, que eres linda y hechicera como el candor de una rosa. ¡Ay, Baseca! ¡Sí, señor! Con tus ojos me anunciabas que me amabas tiernamente, que me amabas tiernamente. Con tus ojos me anunciabas. Yo no te ofrezco riquezas, te ofrezco mi corazón, te ofrezco mi corazón a cambio de mi pobreza. Malagueña salerosa, besar tus labios quisiera, ay, besar tus labios quisiera, malagueña salerosa, y decirte, niña hermosa, que eres linda y hechicera, que eres linda y hechicera como el candor de una rosa, como el candor de una rosa.
La luna nos ilumina en las noches y en los momentos más oscuros de nuestras vidas. Lucía tenía una fascinación particular con los alumbrados. Por eso para ella va esta bonita canción, que espero le guste y la escuche en el cielo.
Deja que salga la luna, deja que se meta el sol, deja que caiga la noche, para que sientas nuestro amor. Deja que las estrellitas se llenen de inspiración para decirte cositas muy bonitas, corazón. Yo sé que no hay en el mundo amor como el que me das, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Sí, señor. Cuando estoy entre tus brazos, siempre me pregunto yo, ¿cuánto le debo al destino que contigo me pagó? Por eso es que ya mi vida toda te la entrego a ti. Tú que me diste en un beso lo que nunca te pedí. Yo sé que no hay en el mundo amor como el que me das, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Deja que salga la luna. Sí, señor. Ella se las ingenió para siempre ser una reina y seguirá siendo una reina en el firmamento. Yo sé bien que estoy afuera, pero el día en que yo me muera, sé que tendrás que llorar. Llorar, llorar y llorar. Dirás que no me quisiste, pero vas a estar muy triste y así te me vas a quedar. Con dinero y sin dinero, hago siempre lo que quiero y mi palabra es la ley. No tengo trono ni reina, ni nadie quien me comprenda, pero sigo siendo el rey. Una piedra en el camino me enseñó que mi destino era rodar y rodar.
Rodar y rodar.
Después me dijo un arriero que no hay que llegar primero, pero hay que saber llegar. Con dinero y sin dinero, hago siempre lo que quiero. Y mi palabra es la ley. No tengo trono ni reina, ni nadie quien me comprenda, pero sigo siendo el rey.
La homenajeada y todas las mamás que nos acompañan hoy son mujeres. Por eso son lo más bello que Dios creó sobre la tierra, mujeres divinas.
Hablando de mujeres y traiciones, se fueron consumiendo las botellas, pidieron que cantara mis canciones y yo canté unas dos en contra de ellas. De pronto que se acerca un caballero, su pelo ya pintaba algunas canas. Me dijo, le suplico compañero, que no hable en mi presencia de las damas. Le dije que nosotros simplemente hablamos de lo mal que nos pagaron, que si alguien opinaba diferente sería porque jamás lo traicionaron, que si alguien opinaba diferente sería porque jamás lo traicionaron. Tócale bonito, mariachi. Me dijo, yo soy uno de los seres que más ha soportado los fracasos y siempre me dejaron las mujeres llorando y con el alma hecha pedazos, mas nunca le reprocho mis heridas. Se tiene que sufrir cuando se ama. Las horas más hermosas de mi vida las he pasado al lado de una dama. Pudiéramos morir en las cantinas y nunca lograríamos olvidarlas. Mujeres, oh mujeres tan divinas, no queda otro camino que adorarlas. Mujeres, las presentes tan divinas, no queda otro camino que adorarlas.
La música nos permite honrar la memoria de nuestros seres queridos de una manera muy alegre. Nos ayuda a sanar nuestras heridas y ese dolor de esa partida. Con mucho cariño esta canción que se llama La Barca de Oro. Véngale. Yo ya me voy al puerto donde se halla la barca de oro que habrá de conducirme. Yo ya me voy.
solo vengo a despedirme. Adiós, 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 para siempre adiós. No volverán tus ojos a mirarme, ni tus oídos escucharán mi canto. Voy a aumentar los mares con mi llanto. Adiós, 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 hasta pronto, adiós. Ahí te va con cariño, dígale. No volverá a mirarme, ni tus oídos escucharán mi canto. Voy a aumentar los mares con mi llanto. Adiós, amor, adiós para siempre, adiós.
En la trompeta el maestro Gustavo Díaz Naranjo desde Bogotá, Colombia. Señor. Sierra Morena, cielito lindo, vienen bajando un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo, de contrabando. Ese lunar que tiene, cielito lindo, junto a la boca, no se lo des a nadie, cielito lindo, que a mí me toca. Ay, 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 canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Casa la mía, cielito lindo, no hay más que un paso. Ahora que estamos juntos, cielito lindo, dame un abrazo. Si tu boquita fuera, cielito lindo, terrón de azúcar, yo me la pasaría, cielito lindo, chupa que chupa. Ay, 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 canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones.
Thank you so much again for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure to have you here and to share with you what we have been able to achieve through the Global Health Beat Foundation in the States and in Colombia. Thank you so much to the board of directors of this foundation, to the amazing team that we have. A special thanks to Catalina Gomez Copelo, who was behind all the communications that you saw, to Efrain Gabriel Torres, who is also the great producer, and of course to my good friend Lisa Hall-Schilling for always supporting this cause throughout the years.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, very special thanks to my dear sons, Sebastian and Arturo Nache, who are also, here. They didn't want to be next to me in the camera, which I understand, but thank you so much. You are my inspiration and you take us to the next level because, as you know, everything we focus on is maternal child health, and it is youth that drives my passion to improve the life and well-being of people around the world. So thanks again. I look forward to answering your questions. The next session, please stay tuned. We're going to have a question and answer session, and I will be glad to answer any questions that you may have. If you don't get to it, please feel free to contact me via email. We're going to put that information on the slide, as well as just visit our website, globalhealthbeat.org. Thanks again, and stay tuned.